All right. All right, we're recording. All right, hey folks, I'm Frederick Van Johnson, and I'm here with three of my friends, Mr. Bruce Clarke, Mr. Bryan Caporicci, and Mr. Robert Evans. One thing that they have in common that I don't have in common is they are all professional wedding shooters, and I've asked all three of them to get together and put together one of the coolest shows that's going to be launching on the This Week in Photo network, and that's TWiP Weddings, as you might have guessed. And this is the first episode of that. So this is episode 000 of TWiP Weddings, and kind of my way of saying thank you to these guys and giving them the official champagne to the bow of the show, kicking it off, and just kind of a quick roundtable about what this show is going to be about, who's going to be on it, what's the format, what's the frequency, and all that stuff. So, hey guys, welcome to your show.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. So, Bruce, you're going to be kind of the de facto ringleader or cat herder or however you want to position it for the show. Why don't you kick it off, Bruce?
Sure. So I'll be the Captain Stubing on our love boat as we sail the rough seas of wedding photography and so
you sail is it the Love Boat or the SS Minnow? Which one is it?
Well, hopefully it's not the Titanic. Hopefully that's
There you go.
But no, I'm really excited for this show. I think we've assembled a crack team here with Robert and Bryan. Both bring their expertise and their experience. So I'm excited to learn from them. I kind of am following the Frederick Van Johnson model of surrounding myself with people who are much more intelligent than I am and much more experienced than I am, and I'll just try to keep the train going down the tracks as much as possible, and let them kind of give us their experience and all their expertise in terms of wedding photography. So I'm pretty excited for the show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, I prefer to call it being a visionary, and the ringleader. Not that I'm not that I'm an idiot, Come on, Bruce, come on. No, this is gonna be cool, and I think in all seriousness, the whole idea of the TWiP network is that it is spreading out beyond the stuff that I can and like talking about. There's all different kinds of genres of photography that you can't talk about enthusiastically or intelligently if you're not in it. You're not doing it every single day. You're not servicing clients, you're not buying the gear. I'm not doing that stuff in weddings and many of the other genres that are on the TWiP network. So it made sense to put experts in there that, like you said, Bruce, that are smarter than me and that are more enthusiastic than I can be on these topics, especially when innovations in that space happen, and you guys are on top of it, new wedding selling techniques and controversies around selling proofs and all that stuff. You guys can talk more intelligently and smarter than I can on this stuff. So Bryan, one of the reasons that you and I were talking about this show was you are like the 30-year younger version of me in a lot of ways.
30? Let's do the math on that one. Hang on a second.
No, but we both enjoy marketing and photography and the nexus of the two together and how all that stuff works together. All of us are what I call photopreneurs, but you have more of the marketing slant to it. What do you see the show kind of evolving into?
Yeah, I love business. I'm like this weird anomaly where it's like I think you and I are the same, Frederick, probably the only two in the industry that actually enjoyed the business side of it. And so, I mean, listen, I love being creative. I love photography. I love photography as an art form. I love everything that it does. I love the gear. I love all that. But even more than that, I love what it can mean for me as a lifestyle. I love the freedom, flexibility that we can have as entrepreneurs. And I think there's so much in running a business and being successful as an entrepreneur that is often skipped over in wedding photography education. So that's where I'm excited to kind of bring that perspective to the table, as well as talk about the creative stuff as well. But I love business. I love mechanics. I love the nitty-gritty. I love actionable ideas with regards to business. And so I'm excited to kind of bring that to the table and bring that kind of conversation to light.
Yeah, I love that, and that is one of the things that I see as much needed across the board in professional photography. It's just the idea of we get the craft of photography down, and the gear. We all have that gear lust. We got to have the latest and greatest camera and all that stuff. But then it's like a cliff when it comes to the marketing and the selling side and getting paid for our services. Speaking of getting paid for your services, Mr. Robert Evans, who's on the show as well, is going to be one of the panelists weekly. And, Robert, you are one of the, you've been called one of the best photographers on the planet in terms of wedding photography. You're the celebrity guy down there. You got, I'm not going to mention their names, but celebrities that people know by their first names are on your speed dial, So I wanted you to be on the show, Robert, because, we're friends, obviously, but also because you kind of represent that, okay, if I could paint myself as a wedding photographer that's successful in 5 to 10 years, it would look like what Robert Evans is doing. I'm charging these numbers, I'm rubbing elbows with these people, blah, 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 blah. So what kind of stuff do you think you're going to talk about on the show?
I think, it's a good mix of all of us. We've talked a lot, and I think one of the things that we all agree on, and I think is the tagline for our show, is raising the, what is it, Bruce? What's the tagline? Raising the value of wedding photography, one wedding at a time. Raising the bar. See, I should know that.
Yeah, raising the bar one wedding at a time. Brian came up with that, so he's.
Yeah, Brian came up with that, and that's what we all agreed upon, and I think that says it right there, that we all have this care and passion about the industry. I'm the one that's been doing it the longest. I think I'm going on my 27th year in wedding photography, and I started out in shooting film and went through that and then transitioned to digital. And I truly believe there is more to being a great wedding photographer than just taking pretty pictures. And you'll see that from this show. I think we all have a lot of passion about it, and we really want, like, wedding photographers don't always get the best, it's kind of the bottom of the barrel thing. And I think that's changed, of course, over the years, but it still needs to be brought up. I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing it, and I think you should bring a certain professionalism to that along with your talent. So I think it's great here. We are going to cover topics that aren't just pretty pictures. Of course, we're going to talk about gear and photography, but, we're going to talk about stuff that, just how to be great and how to raise the bar and how you can become the best at what you do in your field.
Yeah, which is important, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, I think it was like last year, earlier. Well, it was last year, but earlier in the early part of 2014 on TWiP, we were talking about the whole idea of the mom and pop photographers that were doing the shoot to burn thing, and kind of undercutting and sabotaging the market for the mid-range and the high-end photographers because the public obviously is uneducated. They don't know what good photography should look like, and tend to treat it as a commodity. And folks that go in there with a camera they just bought from Best Buy, and they set up their Squarespace site and start charging money, $100. I'll shoot your wedding for $500 and give you the images, undercutting people that would add a couple zeros to the end of that number. So yeah, I think it's important. All this stuff is important to talk about. So Bruce, you were saying, I know you guys have recorded a couple episodes already, and one of the episodes that's coming up is kind of around WPPI, and there's some specials that you guys are going to, I want to say but I feel like I'm a guest in your house. So these are, some specials that you guys will be running in conjunction with the WPPI folks. Why don't you run that down for us?
Yeah, you bet. So we were fortunate enough to get Jason Group on. Jason Group is the director of WPPI, and WPPI, for those who aren't familiar with it, is the big conference, probably one of the largest conferences for wedding and portrait photographers. Takes place at the end of February, beginning of March in Las Vegas, or Lost Wages, depending on how much you gamble. And so Jason was kind enough to give us some full passes to WPPI, worth about $500. And we want to give those away to our new listeners. So we've got a little contest to kind of kick off the launch of this new show on the TWiP Network. And what we want you to do is we want you to subscribe to the show and listen to the show. We're going to have our own page on the thisweekinphoto.com site. And what we want you to do is we're going to have a tweet that we want you to share. And we'll put the actual full tweet in the blog post for this episode. So you're going to look for episode 0 on the This Week in Photo in the TWiP Weddings section. But basically, the tweet is going to be subscribe to the latest show on the TWiP network, TWiP Weddings. You're going to use the hashtag TWiPWed, and then you're going to include the link to the landing page for TWiP Weddings. And what we'll do is we'll give you until the end of January to do that, because obviously the show hasn't quite published yet, but we're going to send it out. And once it's out, we're going to give you the end of January to send that out, share that out as many times as you'd like. And what we're going to do is we'll collect all the names of those that share that tweet. And from that list of names, we're going to choose 2 people, and they're going to win 2 free passes to attend WPPI in Las Vegas.
Very cool.
So we want to thank WPPI for those passes, and excited to have them join us at WPPI, which all 3 of us are going to be. Actually, all 4 of us, I think, are going to be at WPPI this year as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to hang out there. Now, you may have said this, but what's the retail value of those passes?
About $500.
$500 each.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. And if they win, does that cover airfare?
That does not cover airfare or they can room with you. Frederick said he'll put you up in his hotel room. You're getting some suite at the Caesar's Palace or something, aren't you? So you can
they don't want to room with me. I'm a snorer, man. You don't want to room with me.
No,
cool.
So airfare and that's up to you. You'll have to take care of airfare and accommodations, but that's going to give you a pass to the main conference itself, which gets you into all the the different speakers and whatnot. Now it doesn't include any of the pre-conference stuff. There's some pre-conference workshops. They're having a bunch of photo walks this year. Those are kind of optional things. You'd have to pay for those if you wanted to attend those. But as far as the main conference goes and going into the expo, that's all included with that pass. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thanks to Jason Group and the team over at WPPI for those.
All right. Well, Jason Group, thank you, and WPPI as a whole, thank you. Okay, so let's wrap this up, guys. I don't want this to go too long. Let's just close it down. So the upcoming shows? We kind of teased that Jason Group was going to be, and some WPPI folks may be on some of the upcoming shows. What else do you guys have planned?
Yeah, we're gonna try bring in guests from time to time as well. So it won't just be our 3 mugs you'll be forced to look at every week. We're gonna try and bring in some other folks to contribute to the conversations. We really want this to be a 2-way street. We want your feedback, and we want people to contribute their questions and their ideas and their thoughts on what are some of the challenges and things they're struggling with in their wedding business. And we want to try and use those and build shows around those conversations. So you can either get the conversation going with us by commenting on the blog posts for each episode. You can also email us. So we're going to have an email address, twipwed@thisweekinphoto.com. You can send in those questions to us. Or we're going to look for the hashtag TWiPWed. So you can post questions on Twitter or other, Google Plus or wherever your social media of choice, and we'll keep an eye out for those as well. And we're going to use that to kind of inform our discussions. But we're going to cover it all, from marketing and sales. We're going to talk about creativity. Of course, we'll talk about gear. We even have a topic proposed as what to wear on the wedding day, and what's good, comfortable footwear. Like, we're going to cover it all. We're going to leave no stone unturned when it comes to talking about wedding photography and the wedding photography industry.
Love it. Awesome. Well, let's shut this off. If folks want to check you guys out individually, well, obviously they can go to thisweekinphoto.com/weddings to check out the show. But if they want to check you guys out individually, Bruce, where should they go to look at your stuff?
Sure, yeah. So they can find me most of the regular online hangouts, places like Instagram and Twitter and that. They'll find me at Bruce Clarke, and that's Clarke with an E. Or you can head on over to my website, which is momentsindigital.com, and there's links to everything on there as well.
Excellent. And Mr. Caporicci, what about you?
I'm really impressed that you actually said my last name right, which is that's awesome. That's good.
It's not that hard. It's not like French,
I've heard every combination of
I even
vowels
butchered it.
and yeah.
Hey, it's Italian, right? Italian is relatively easy to work around. It's those French words that get me.
The accent aigus.
Yeah.
On the interwebs you can find me. I'm always at BCAP Photo, so BCAP Photo. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, BCAP Photo. My photography website is bcapphoto.com, and I also write and have my own podcast about the business of photography over at sproutingphotographer.com.
Awesome. Good. Thanks for doing this. I'm happy to have all you guys on there. And last but not least, Mr. Robert Evans. Where can people go to see some of those images that I've been kind of dancing around? Who those celebrities are?
Well, if you want to see who Frederick's talking about, you can read my bio at robertevans.com, Instagram at Robert Evans, Twitter at Robert Evans. I think my Facebook is Robert Evans Studios, but you can find me on there. Yeah, that's it. I try to keep it simple. Try to keep the Robert Evans name on the internet with my name. I have to compete with that producer guy, but you know.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, you're in a different genre, so don't worry about it. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I guess I'll let you go from your show. Congratulations again, and I'm looking forward to. This was episode 0, so I'm looking forward to episode 1 and seeing how the public responds to this brand new show.
Awesome. Thanks, Frederick. We're excited. Thanks for the opportunity. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
You're welcome. See you guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.